Evening all, welcome to the Donny Chaingang. Here with me, Matt Payne, down in the Old Beer Cellar Studios. And it's pretty hot today. Good news is, guess what? We've got a little bit of cooling down here, so as well as my regular OTE refueling whilst we're going, as well as the Grand Tour coffee. We've got extra today, because if it works to go uphill, I have down in the cellar genuine, traditional vanilla ice cream. I'm about halfway through the tub. And this stuff, it's rocket fuel for the ice cream man. It's quite cold. In fact, it's very cold. But hopefully this will keep me going through the broadcast at the same time that our guys are riding up the hill. No sprinkles or sauce on this one, though. So let's see if this works when we go out and onto the course. We will see. So, got the gear, got the fuel, got the ice cream. Have we got a ride leader? Well, that's a good question. Let's see if we can get hold of the one and only yellow beacon that is Russ Downing. Evening, Russ.
Evening, mate.
How you doing?
I'm all right, mate. I'm actually. I heard your topic of Grand Tour coffee. I'm absolutely buzzing.
Excellent. Have you been testing out that new coffee machine of yours?
I've been. Yeah. Do I throw it down the drain or do I drink it? I'll stuff it. I'll drink it.
Drink it, drink it, drink it.
There's not too much. There's never. I once had a team doctor. I said, "Oh, how much caffeine should you drink, Roger?" And he was like, "As much as you can handle." I was like, "Oh."
Blimey, don't ever say that to me, flipping egg. Love it. Absolutely love it.
After like 20 minutes or something, because I sent you a picture earlier. I was that busy messing around with coffee. I missed my lunch, so I've got a bit of pasta in there like 2 hours before, so it's not sitting good, but it's all good fun.
Well, yep, it will be. It will be. So we have been really busy this week, and I know you've been busy. I've been busy. We've been sorting out the Tour de France weeks on the Donny Chaingang, and the members are going to get an email. Now there is a little story by which means that the email is coming tomorrow, not this week, and that's quite simply because the email has crashed about 4 times trying to send it today. So everyone's going to get one tomorrow who's a member of the DCG gang, with the details, and hopefully the link should be in there for the very first stage and some really important information. So if you're a member of the DCG gang, watch out in your email boxes. Russ and I have been doing a lot of work on this, and without giving away particularly where we're going, Russ, or what we're doing, it's going to be important to get a warm-up, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely on the old first stage. I think you're saying the Ticketmaster's gone down. I think I think even Ticketmaster got a bit excited and thought, no, I can't process this information, so I'm just going to speak it out. So, yeah, it's going to be a good 3 weeks. And had a quick conversation with Connor Swift earlier, so he's all he likes the program, and he's got a busy 3 weeks ahead, and he's still supporting the gang. So yeah, we'll be chatting to him soon.
That sounds really good. And of course, we've got Connor and we've got Fred Wright in the tour. I'm really looking forward to see what happens over the duration of the tour. And our red beacon tonight, which is Keith Richards. I think Keith, if I've got my Keiths right, because we've got a lot of Keiths on the gang, is planning on doing a ride in the same distance as the tour every single day of the tour stages, which is just a madness. I know Slugs, that's Michael Hutchinson, is also going to be riding a jog over the next few days. So we've got members all over the place and supporters all over the place doing all sorts of mad things. But big kudos to Connor and to Fred, the two riders of the Donny Chaingang, who are out riding the real thing, the Tour de France, the race I'm sure pretty much everybody on the Chaingang has dreamed of one way or the other.
Yeah, kudos to everybody who's doing anything. It's great to be setting these challenges in the crazy year that we're having. So, but jog on, le jog, Tour de France, call it what you wish. Just keep having fun riding that bike, and it's all good.
Definitely. Now, we've got a fun route tonight. I know this is one of your favourites. This is one of my least favourites because it makes life very entertaining trying to get back for riders. We are in to Bridges. Now, this is great to ride. I actually do like it riding it. But key features here, probably the big hill heading towards the King of the Mountains.
Yeah, it's probably the crest, isn't it? The time is kicking down. You think you're going to go all the way on the little KOM, and then you turn left on the new bypass, and it's like, boy, straight downhill. And then say if you were same as real life, if you're on the back of the elastic, there it can snap pretty easily. But the gangs have calmed down until the go. So hopefully we can really keep it tight, get everyone to the go, and then have a little play and burn some double day coffee off. Really.
Definitely, I can't say anything else. I think I'm on about my 40th coffee today or something mad, so it's going to be very entertaining. So, the team all ready to go. Looks like our red beacon just landed as well, which is even better. So, we have a complement of beacons. We can let you get back to briefing the troops. Good luck, Russ. I might yet get back to you during the course of the ride. Let's see how it goes, because there's not too many flat sections to catch up.
No, hopefully we can have a quick chat, mate, and not as we just cresting the hill or something, and I'm there.
Let's see how mean I'm feeling. So great to hear from Russ there, and we will try and get back to Russ. We have been busy, and apologies, as many people know, the yellow beacon on the women's Wednesdays, Emma was a little bit up after hitting the deck in a race on the weekend. Still pretty beat up from the race at the weekend. However, a little bit more mobile now, and says thank you very much for all of the well wishes. I know loads of people have been messaging. And big thank you. It's definitely cheered her up. Now, let's show you where we are going to head with Russ and with all of the gang, because we are going over into Watopia onto the Two Bridges Loop. 0k leading, 6 laps of 7.1 kilometres, which starts off uphill just to make life difficult. So we go up into the S's over the first of the bridges, then around the back of the Italian villas over the slight crest, and then we go up as we're going to go on towards the King of the Mountains of the Watopia, the mini King of the Mountains. However, we then take a sharp left-hand turn and dive down the bridges. Now, it doesn't look too complicated on the map, and I'm sure Russ and Keith, both of our beacons, are going to be very, very happy indeed. But let's see how many they pick up, because it is actually a really hilly route. Normally Thursdays are flat. It ain't flat, that is for sure. 6 laps of 73 metres of climbing. And as you can see, this is still at the same scale that we use every week. So if you're looking back at the previous weeks, you'll see that this is hilly. We're going to come out from the start. We're going around this in an anti-clockwise direction for those of you old enough that go around the top. So just keep on sweeping up through the S-bends, drop down over the bridge, then round the Italian villas, top right-hand side. And you can see very clearly with the Velo Viewer graphic just how hard it is. We then go into the long drag coming back across towards that yellow 8% section of the King of the Mountains, and just as it starts to level, we take a left turn, diving down round the spiral, back underneath ourselves and back into the finish. Very, very interesting to see what happens today, because this is going to be tough stuff for our riders. So I am hoping it's going to stay together. It's going to rely on everybody working together. Let's see what's going to happen. It looks like we've got plenty of people down at the start line already to get into that 70 number, which is takes a bit of doing on a sunny Thursday. So let's have a look. So 6 laps of this. It's going to be very, very entertaining indeed. If you're a member of the DCG gang, don't forget we have not been sending the kit out, the detail out on the email. Apologies for that, but things are just a little bit busy with a casualty back at home, plus the Tour de France week, plus the start of live gigs. So looks like the riders are just lined up, the clock ticking down to 0 seconds, and looks like the riders are away. We're going to jump in with Maddie Smith, I think, and just ride in with Maddie as she heads out here, and hopefully that group is going to stay all together. Looks like the helicopter just trying to catch up with the riders over the top of the buildings, but that group hopefully going to form pretty quickly, because we're going to soon hit the hills. So down the ramp and in towards the banner. If we take a little bit of a flick behind, you'll be able to see our red beacon at the back pushing onwards, and all of the riders now heading down underneath the gantry. So here on the Downey Cycling YouTube channel, It is the Donny Chaingang with me, Matt Payne. Let's dive in to Zwift. Let's get in to Watopia and let's see just what's happening out on the Donny Chaingang. So we're here live on the Downhill Cycling YouTube channel with me, Matt Payne, the Donny Chaingang, setting off from the beachside, down from the piers and down in past that start-finish line, heading on to the hillside here. We're keeping our eyes on Maddie Smith at the moment, and as these riders start to make the way up the hillside here, you can see just a little bit strung out in the group, most of the gang trying to hold in with Russ as they go up. This is all about keeping the group together. Now, frequently we've gone out right towards the volcanoes, out and across the edges of the beach. Today we are going to be going straight on over the top and into the S's. Now, the S's are a real roller coaster and they split the group time and time again. So it's going to be really critical for the riders to keep it together as they head up over the top. Looks like we've got Shelley Charles here from Aberystwyth. Looks like Mr. Mason has joined us. We better get a picture of him before he disappears, because Gareth, of course, the fat cyclist, not known for staying the course if it gets hilly, but let's see if he's going to do so today. So Gareth in here in the red and black kit, and noticeable by the hook-like forearms. He's just going to be making his way in towards the camera. Here he goes and through. So looks like the rider is all on his way over the top, and just watching the group disappear as they go around the top of the volcano. So through the gang comes, you can just see Gareth here on these roller coasters working his way in that group. The bunch altogether raining down ride-ons on our riders. I know plenty of the Zwift staff keeping an eye on affairs as our riders go on through these S's. You can see in the distance the epic KOM, that ski station and the transmitter mast up at the top of the mountain. At the moment on our run through around a circuit, and if we pull up the head-up display, pull up the map on the top right hand side, it looks like it's going to be a pretty straightforward run. In theory, in practice it's never the case, because our riders are just working their way around. Currently on the downslope was 1% dip, quickly turning into a 5% climb here as you go up over the top and then start dropping back down towards the bridge. So you can just see that gradient kicking in, and the watts really are lifting up and down. So looks like the gang all together. Looks like the beacons all holding it in together at the moment, just keeping a look. Looks like we've got Fiona Kestevan in with us. We've got Andy Scullin in the gang. Good to see Andy in here. Good to have Fiona back as well. Kuslux is here. Got to say a massive thank you to the Stelton donating some prizes for the Tour de France giveaway for DCG gang members. And remember, the DCG gang is how we keep the show on the road. So if you want to help us keep it going, please guys, remember, join up. Make sure you join up for June and July. You will be getting prizes if you complete all 6 rides and get the pictures of your avatars finishing the stages. But remember, it is all about making sure you get on the ride, enjoy it, and of course, if you can, join up with the Chaingang with the supporters club. Now in towards the sprint lines, and this is where we're going to get a good indication. Mr. Hutch just pushing back into the group. Sonia Inslee is in the gang here, and good to see Sonia is in with the group. So it looks like Fiona Kesford, Maddie Smith and Sonia Inslee are female riders, and Fiona just pushing from the back towards the front of the group to get into the pack. And just riding in with Kooslugs at the moment, but looks to me like a number of the riders are well strung out here, with the red beacon already off the back, looking after riders on the way in. And you see them just coming into the tunnels here, in towards the Italian villas. As we go into the tunnels here on Zwift, in with Watopia, the riders are coming around the turn. You can just see Sonia Inslee, Beacon, Richards coming through now. We're coming in towards the village itself. We're going to go taking that left-hand turn in a second around the side of the village, around the side of the fountain, and we're going to be heading up in towards the waterfall. And the riders in this group working to get back into the pack. I think Sonia would take dropouts on the way round by the look of it. So the red beacon and Kooslugs chasing on. Kooslugs, of course, lining himself up for Le Jog for Land's End, John O'Groats. But it looks like the group in front already at about 8 seconds up the road towards the back of the pack. We're just jumping in with Craig Genther here. And Craig just drifting back. Looks like Tristan Emptage doing the same as well to go give the guys at the back a hand. And this course really is rolling. It's very difficult to keep the group together, but fortunately the pace looks like it's steady away on the front at the moment. So clearly tech issues for Sonia as she's come in and along. So a long line of riders. Looks like Richards going back, Richardson back there. Looks like Genther working with this group. Now we're going to go over the bridge and on to the climb very shortly. It takes us on to the King of the Mountains climb, and it's a long drag up from here. However, it is not the full length of the climb. We're going to take a left-hand turn just up by the statues in front. And as we watch this gang make its way along, it's looking like it's very fractured at the back already. So just riding in with Craig Genther at the moment in that Downing cycling strip. You can get the same strip in real life from Russ and Dean. Just seeing Carl Johnson go past Craig there as they come over the bridge, heading back in towards the gang. The front of the gang are pretty much all together at the moment. No, not seeing any mad numbers going up on the screens, and pretty much everybody holding it together as much as possible. Looks like Sonia Inslee has managed to jump back into the game again. Dropping out and jumping back in is a great way to try and reset the system if it's not working at the moment. Looks like Darata Shilwalla and Chris Gale having issues out on the course, and it may well be that their best option is to jump out and dive back in again. Let's just pull up the head-up display here as Craig goes up onto the climb, because you're going to see the gradient increase somewhat. So as we go up the climb 4% now, the right hand turn is where things get really interesting up here on the climb, and you can see already that gradient of 5% is going to kick in as we come around that right hand turn. Craig backing off the power as he gets in with the pack. If we go side shot here, if we take it in from the side, 6% at the moment. 7% and climbing. It's getting harder. The brakes going on more and more. You see feathers being pushed in by the riders. 9% now into the red. 10% and kicking 11% more. Gradient being piled on 12%, and then it starts to ease. Unfortunately for many, it won't ease quick enough when we get into the real tough section of the ride, but at the moment looks like pretty much everybody is sticking together as we go up over the climb. Our red beacon up on the back, having pulled everybody back in. The front not going too mad at the moment, just trying to hold it together as the gang comes up towards those statues, and then they are going to be heading back down into town once again, and heading almost directly below where we are now. So up towards what is the top of the climb that we use. King of the Mountain continues on to the right. We're going to be diving down left in a second, and quickly into the descent. It's a very, very fast descent. The gradient is much steeper as we take that left-hand turn. Go around the cusp cross now. Pull up the map. You can just see we are piling our way down, and we are soon going to be taking another left. This shortcut basically brings it around on the way down. Another left-hand turn just off this broken section of road, and then it's going to be another left turn here back onto the good tarmac, and the gradient will quickly pick up. The group well and truly fractured now over about 700 meters of the course here in Watopia, with the lead riders coming in towards that sharp right-hand turn, the speed picking up. We watch Craig's speed currently sitting at 50 kph, just dropping in nice and low with him here. 60 kph about to be hit. Here we go through that 60 kph mark. It's picking up as they drop down. We're going to be in over the bridge now. It levels very quickly after that 8% drop, and then it picks up once again. You can just see the riders don't need to be putting much power on. So Genther at 1 watt per kilo, 0.9 watts per kilo, but quickly picking off riders on his way down here, just using the pace to get down into the pack. But this is all about regrouping now on the way in. Now you see why it's such a tricky finish to manage, and why it's a hard ride for the group to stay together on as they head down here. So just taking a little look back through this group, working our way back towards Russ. Russ still several meters back. You can just see him here towards the back of that big pack. It looks like Kieran Brown has changed from the flat cap into the more aero helmet. He's 7 seconds of Koos. Richards coking just on the back of that group. Looks like Kesteven has got a drop out and jump back in again. She's only on 4.9k. Looks like Darotash Waller on 5.9. So clearly issues for riders with dropouts. Remember, hardwire it, hardwire it, hardwire it. Can't say enough. Make sure you got enough internet. Vodafone do a particularly good deal at the moment if you are able to get super fast broadband. I'm not being paid for the plug, believe me, but they did a fantastic job in getting us another line in. Yep, another one's gone into the studios. We've got more lines coming in here than British Rail have going in and out of Derby. So Koos looks on his way through with Richards for company. So Derby at the back of this group, holding the back of the group quickly reforming. That is fantastic work, guys. The main pack getting close together now. Looks like Richards and Koos looks on the way through, coking clearly with a dropout at 0 watts per kilo. Darotash Waller still chasing hard. He's at 1 minute now. Richards and Koos looks need to get themselves back into this, because the riders behind are a long way down. I don't think they're going to be able to get even close. We're only 8k into the ride here, so I think they are going to get back in with the pack. So just on the way past Kieran, I think Kieran just going to give a hand here, and just riding in with Kieran, just helping the guys on the way through. So just picking up Rich Orrell on the way through. Looks like a whole gang just waiting to get everybody back in with the Chaingang. So great to see everybody working well. So Daryl Tattershaw-Waller didn't get a drop out. In fact, just message me, thanks very much, Daryl. Mr. Tattershaw-Waller just started late, so he's started off behind everybody. He's going to see how long it takes to get back in again. Be interesting to see whether he's got the speed and the pressure to get back in and can get the old chain tight enough. I hope Daryl's not always late. Definitely not when he was in his professional life. That wouldn't have done. So just keeping a check on the road. This looks like pretty much most of the people together. The pack riding well here, so the group pretty much holding together, and remember, lots of great stuff coming up over the next few weeks. And don't forget, of course, if you want all of those details, if you want the discount codes for extra discount things like OTE, Grand Tour Coffee and so on, then don't forget you need to be in the Donny Chaingang, the supporters club, the DCG gang. You can find the details on the Facebook page, you can find the details on the website, and if you join up, then of course it does mean you get the links first priority, quite simply because it's what keeps us being able to put in internet lines to make the whole thing work, to improve the tech, to cut the dropouts down and keep the speed of the broadcast right up there. And at the moment we're lagging at about 1.7 seconds behind live, so we'll take that as being pretty quick at the moment. Going out in full HD. If you've got your YouTube set at a lower definition, it will come out to you if your screen and your computer can handle it at a full 1080 HD screen. However, not everybody's computer, their laptop or whatever you're watching on is able to handle that, but the tech that we've been able to put in, thanks to the members, making sure that it all runs nice and smoothly. So up, in and over one of the roller coasters. Remember, this is one of those tricky courses where the ups and downs make life very difficult indeed. As you can see, we're about to drop down towards the next bridge in the sprint line. So Tattershaw-Waller chasing on, has got the fastest men's time, and that is 14.48 at the moment. That's quite simply because he's off the back, having to work his socks off to get back on again. Just taking a little bit of a look behind the group. We do have a couple of people behind the gang. Tattershaw-Waller's the nearest rider. Kokin at the moment has got no power, maybe waiting for a full lap out. Fiona Kesterford also on different distance, so we'll see just how they're going. So into the bridge to come. Over the top of the bridge, they're going almost all together to come through. A few people just getting the pressure on. But that main bunch still holding nicely, with Russell Red Beacon just about to sweep back on again. Some great work being done by our beacon today. You can see those ride-ons raining down on the riders all the way through the bunch, and always a great time when you get that. In towards the tunnel comes the beacon. You can see Russ at the moment on that Pinarello. He said he was in danger of gambling when going for disc wheels. He's not gone for them. It was a bit brave, in my opinion, to put this on this course with 400 plus meters of climbing. Definitely not a flat Thursday, that is for sure. So you can see how fractured the group is. Soon they'll be round towards the waterfalls. So now that we're past the waterfall, the gang reforming, you can just see everybody starting to come back together again. If we drop in the head-up display there, you can just see the pack almost together. Now let's take a little bit of a run back and let's see how this chase is going on behind. You can see the pack pretty much all together. The red beacon's in there. We're just going to drop back a touch to Tatishul Waller. Now look at the job he's doing here. He's got the maestro of the late start, Tatishul Waller. He's got Coleman just dropped off the back here. So let's have a look. He's absolutely flying here, getting on the back. A great chase back by Darryl. And you can just see he's going to be on the back of these riders very, very quickly indeed. Here he goes onto the beacon. Looks like Kieran's gone back again to help out. Tatishul Waller just absolutely nails past them. So after all those issues of being off the back, now back into the group, you can just see absolutely flying his way up and through. So going to be backing off that pace. Seriously quick recovery there by Tatishul Waller, that is for sure. Now we are going to drop back in with Russ now. And riding in with Russ, you can just see that red beacon just chasing back on again. They're getting a tough old workout on the red beacon duties today. And this, of course, not the most forgiving when it comes to having the group break up and split apart. At Russ keeping it nice and smooth. You see the revs there. Of course, former national champion Russ Donny in that Downing cycling coached kit as he makes his way over the top of the bridge. So Fonzie, the bear, is riding smoothly, going in towards the KOM. You're going to see the little red marker for the KOM coming up on the right hand side. Our riders though not going to be going all the way to the top, so it's basically immaterial for them where that starts because they're not going to make the end. The left hand turn going to come up pretty quickly. So this is lap 2 of 6. It'll be complete when they hit the line next time. Third of the distance of the ride complete. And just keeping an eye, if we pull up our head-up display, it looks like 98 beats per minute for Russ, so already ticking in towards 100 beats per minute for Russ, 158 watts, and at the moment the riders are looking pretty strong out there. So Richardson's just putting a faster time with Oral and Tatishul Waller chasing on from the back of the group. So call in from Russ to ride at 2.5 watts per kilo, please guys. 2.5 watts per kilo. No one's people watching live. So we're now onto that increasing grade. You can just see how steep it is as it goes around this corner, kicking up to that 12% before backing off. And it is definitely tough stuff, particularly if you turned your turbo training difficulty right up. Not sure quite why you would be masochistic enough to do that. Lots of people riding and racing with it down at the 10 to 25% mark. Eternal source of controversy within Zwift, and it's not something that even the Zwift anti-doping can cure. Heads up to riders who've got plenty of improvements on the way with the Chaingang. A lot of work being done behind the scenes, not just on the Tour de France but also on the entry system. You will be able to enter just like normal. We are going to be introducing a cut-off to the ride, which will mean that you will have to have at least clicked on the link and aimed to join before we moved into the last hour. If you are a member, you will be sent out the links early as per normal. For those just joining for a ride, there will be a cut-off which will be 1 hour before to get hold of the link, and that just means that we can process it, and we will also then be able to bar people from getting the link much easier. And that's going to be done for a number of reasons. One, to stop any disruptive problems when we go in towards the really busy September period and into Christmas, when the numbers will shoot back up again. It's also being done to keep the systems secure. We do get attacked by spam bots, by virus. We also get attacked by various people not putting in their real name or address or similar. And it'd be really simple. If you don't put that in, you're not going to be able to get onto the ride. It's not that we want to give it away, it's just that we have a duty of care to our riders, including the youngsters on the ride, to look after and to know who's on the ride. And if people aren't putting in correct details, then they're not going to be able to get onto the ride. Russ and I take the Chaingang very seriously when it comes to looking after our riders. We are very protective, not just of the Chaingang, but of the riders on it, because you guys actually make the thing happen. So everybody who's playing the game, we want you here, we're looking after you, and we want to make sure that you keep on riding on a nice and comfortable all the way through, that you're sat in a safe environment and that you're getting a great workout without having to be interrupted by people taking flies off the front or similar. If people are worried that they're just going to get a straight ban, don't worry, we've got a warning system ready to go. There will be a warning, a yellow card, a red card, and then a permanent ban for people and a suspension. So let's see just what, if we ever have to implement it, it'll be a sad day. But got to remember, last winter, Chaingang going well over 400 riders strong. We fully expect it to go well over the 500 mark, 600 mark this winter. So please, guys, remember that you need to play the game, you need to be riding in to get the maximum effect, to get those FTPs. Stay with yellow until that magic signal is given. So as we roll along through the straights, 2 laps complete. Let's see if we can jump in with the beacon. That's going to be Russ, and see if he's still comfortable. So let's see if we can get him on the end of the line. Russ, are you there?
Bonsoir.
Now, you sound very comfortable with this pace, mate.
Yeah, sweet, mate. I'm burning the pasta off now, aren't I?
Well, you were a bit late with that. Now, you did say that you were like a 3 to 4 hour man normally in terms of feeding and fueling up beforehand. Is that something that's changed over the years, or have you always been like that?
When I was racing, it was always 3 hours before even. The evening crits, you'd get there early and try and have a bit of pasta or some carbs or whatever, and then, but for the Chaingang now, it's just, it's whatever. But if you've got a bit of time in the afternoon, it's try to eat about 3 o'clock. More like 4 o'clock when we were chatting earlier, wasn't it? And I was like scoffing some pasta down my neck.
It was 4 or nearly 5 o'clock, but that is the way of the world. And at the end of the day, it is the Chaingang rather than a pro crit. And we've just seen the launch of the Tour series with 3 dates, and it shows you just how hard it is to organise races at the moment in the real world, when the Tour series that I know of 10, 9, 11, 15 dates at times, 3 dates at the moment, 3 available venues. It's quite as simple as that, and I'm sure they're going to be really exciting, but it's definitely not as many as when you were racing them.
No, it was too many when I was racing. It was just getting pulled from pillar to post and trying to concentrate some of the stuff at the weekends. So we used to be flat out, and then the national champs would come about now, and you'd be like, I've been pulled from pillar to post and tried to get a bit of endurance in the week, and then all the continentals came back from the road, and you were like absolutely flying for 2 hours, and then you'd just go bang. Like, right, over to you, boys.
And I think that's still the case, but we've got less opportunities for that to happen. And of course, next week we have Otley. Really looking forward to being on the mic at Otley, heading back in there. It came up on my Facebook feed. In fact, it was 12 years ago I was down in Otley, and basically I think I've been going to Otley since I was about 10 or 11, pretty much some of the first crits. But you've raced plenty there. You've had incidents and thrills and spills at the Otley crits, but are you heading over this time round to see what's going on? Have they given you an invite?
Might sneak up. Going to speak to Giles in the week and see what the drill is, with spectators and social distancing and all that. But yeah, always love Otley. I've been up there in the past to watch when it probably on my race calendar, but I love an Otley.
It's a great circuit, isn't it? And I think it's going to be really interesting. Now, Sonia, who's our race organizer, has actually set a challenge for me to get a Mexican wave around the entire circuit. Now, to do that, we need spectators all the way round the circuit. So if Giles doesn't have a job for you, I've definitely got one where you can go around and try and spread everybody out like 2 meters all the way round the circuit. And it's a big circuit, and let's see if we can get the Mexican wave of the circuit. I know that up on the top of the climb, we're going to have the Beefeater band. are going to be there. So that's going to be forever known as Beefeater Corner on the Otley Crit going forwards. Have you bumped into them in real life, Russ?
Yeah, bumped into. Had some good times with them actually at the Worlds the other year. Used to bump into them most days when I was going down to the Zwift clubhouse, and then they came in once, and we all looked after them. And yeah, they had a great time up there. But yeah, they're absolutely bonkers. But they love the sport, and they make it look the part as well. So yeah, it's good.
It's going to be good to see them in at Otley. Well, we're going to let you get back. I've kept you talking over the Essies long enough. We're in the drop down off the bridge 2 and the quarter laps in at the moment, so plenty of time left for people to stretch their legs.
Yeah, just that 104 my heart rate's just gone up to, so nip me over 100 and then we can start and get people panicking, can't we?
Definitely, that's the one. If we pull up the head-up display, I think we're still on you. If we've got it right, you can just actually see, 104 beats a minute as we go over the bridge. There you go. So great stuff, Russ. Enjoy the rest of the ride. We may well be back to you a little bit later on.
Yeah, maybe not. I might be a bit in a hurt box there.
Let's see. Cheers, Russ.
Great.
So great to catch up with Russ in the middle of the ride there, and back out on Zwift. The riders are already heading out around these turns. You can just see how quickly the riders come into town here, and it really does test the riders. We just come over the bridge through that sprint line, now going in towards the tunnels once again. Looks like Russ and the gang pretty much all together. Everybody keeping the powder dry. The red beacon on duty a little bit further back. Just keeping a check of the times. So just seeing Jeff say so jump back onto the red beacon here. It looks like Jeff having to do a bit of work here, just distanced off the back of the gang. So Jeff from Wales just working his way back to the beacon. The beacon going back, Richard's going back. Looks like Kieran Brown hanging around that back of the pack area, just trying to give a hand to everybody to get back on. But say so on good recovery here as he heads back into the group. And the red beacon getting a real workout today out on the course as they all come back together once again. So we go over the bridge, Russ there just alongside Maddie Smith, making the way up the climb very shortly indeed. It's like Jason Stevens really hovering around Russ, making sure he doesn't drift too far away onto this stiff section of the climb. Of the pull will go up, it increases in gradient, it gets harder and harder until you hit that right hand bend. The left turn down off the top does definitely come as a relief. This is going to be the third time up here, And this is the third of 6 ascents of what is the first part of the King of the Mountains here in Watopia, in the original island, part of the world of Zwift. This fantastic world, which of course was created, purpose-built to give a great ride and a great racing scenario. It doesn't need to faithfully replicate anywhere. Lots of different ideas going in, and great to see the imaginations of the guys at Zwift really being put to good use in the exceedingly entertaining expansions that we have had time and time again. And really interesting to see what's happening with the game as it progresses. I was lucky enough to be catching up with some of the guys at Zwift today, just getting a heads up for that first stage of the tour that we are doing. So remember, the Donny Chaingang has got 6 stages over the 3 weeks. Tuesdays and Thursdays are going to be there. Really excited about that. Really looking forward to the very first stage, which is next Tuesday. Members of the DCG gang, you've already had one email which tells you where we're heading and what it's going to be. There's going to be a lot more detail coming out tomorrow. I've typed it that many times today before the system has crashed that I know it off by heart anyway. I could repeat it to you, but that would give the game away to everybody, and we'd like to look after our members first and foremost, the DCG gang, because they're the guys keeping the show on the road. A massive thank you, guys, for all of your support. So towards the top of the climb come both the yellow and red beacon, and soon they're going to be taking the first of the left turns on the cut across that brings them down into the descent. And some interesting choice of bikes and kit here. A few disc wheels we're seeing, which will be really handy on the downhill at the end, as we come into the finish at the end of the main race, but looking really good. So here we come in towards the end of lap 3. The red beacon busy sweeping people into the group after the ascent and descent. The front of the group still a little fractured. As we come up and in towards town, you can just see the group around Russ. Looks like it is just about 10 to 15 riders at the moment. They're working their way back into the main pack. 1 or 2 riders just trying to push on, getting a little bit twitchy as we come up to half ride distance, going underneath the gantry there, and you can just see a few riders on the back having to work really hard to get back in with the group. Downtown Watopia playing host to the Donny Chaingang around the original island created by Zwift immediately after it was Jarvis Island, and the original section of course still does actually remain out there for you to find. And Russ and myself back in 2015 it would be getting to play when we had just Watopia. No other wheels were available, and I know when they first started to put extra wheels in, the excitement was fantastic. Great to see some great chat on the pages on the messenger as people are discussing their favourite courses out there. What do they like, what do they dislike, what do they like riding. And of course remember, it's always different when you ride something as when you race it or ride it as a chain gang. the different types of ride suit different types of course. Russ and I spend quite a lot of time actually working on what courses work for the Chaingang and what don't. There is repetition, and part of the reason for the repetition is because people actually get better and the group gets better at holding together when it does repeated courses. We also make sure that we've got a variety that goes out there so people actually get a different experience, but also so that we can make sure we get the workouts that we need. There is method in the madness, and of course working closely with Downing Cycling and the Downing Cycling coaching. It does mean that we can make sure that people are improving time on time again. Although it does seem quite random with the courses, Russ and I do joke quite a lot about we might have to dream it up at lastminute.com. There is quite a long programme of courses in there. We have got some more up our sleeves. I've got some real stinkers for the big lads like me, and Russ has got some real nasty ones for climbers, but we are saving them up because we have got a long time planned here on Zwift. One place we haven't been is into Umezi Islands at the moment, and that's quite simply because we want that world to settle down. Tend to find it's generally a little bit shaky initially on group rides. Plus, of course, we've got the Tour de France on the Donny Chaingang coming up, and again we've been planning that so that it fits in with the typical Tour profile. And I'll leave that to your imagination. What's coming, of course, the members of the DCG gang, well, they know what's heading their way on stage one. And members in June and the 2021 or 2021 members, well, you will be getting the details of the first stage coming out, and that link as soon as it lands. Details and the links of the other stage will be going out to the July members, because of course we move into July during the Tour de France, and July members and all 2021 members will be getting the links for the remaining 5 stages. So make sure you're in and joined up. At this moment in time, less than 10% of the June members have renewed for July. You have been warned, you've got to be in it to win it. We've got some great prizes coming out, but they will only be going to the DCG gang members, the Donny Chaingang Supporters Club. Let's keep the show on the road. So the group are well behaved at the moment, just dropping down in on the third lap. Russ just tucked in on the wheels of Gareth Mason there, a man that Russ apparently says is the one of the best people to shelter behind. I don't think it's being complimentary there. I think it was more a reference to Gareth's air cutting abilities due to his size, as the riders go on and through. So we are currently just coming in towards the Italian villas. We've got another KOM to go, and then we will have 2 laps to go as we hit the line next time. So the group almost all together. Looks like Amit at the moment, the rider who's distanced here pretty much everyone else in this group together, and just riding in with the gang. And looks like Russ and the Red beating together. The group in front seems to be just disappearing off into the distance a little bit here. I think there's a few scared, twitchy legs on the front there. So Donny Chaingang is going to be with us all the way through the year. Russ and I are making sure we're here, and word's on the message board about just how important it is to people for a multitude of reasons. The community's there for everybody, and that's why we always ensure that the Donny Chaingang Facebook pages and the group work together and are a friendly place to be. So remember, guys, work together as a gang. Don't be ripping it up. The whole point of this is to give everybody something to look forward to, whether you are a fast rider, a slower rider. It is about looking after each other. So onto the climb the cub, everybody all together once again, and just coming around to complete another lap here. 27k on the clock at the moment, and at the moment the group's all together. We'll see what happens as we hit this time. He has had the habit to pull the group apart, just about holding together. Let's get up in the sky and have a little look at this. Riders now just starting to be distanced a little bit at the moment, so it looks like the gang holding it together nicely. Steady away please, guys. We want to try and keep that group together and look after each other a little bit longer. We've still got a fair way to go to the finish. We're up on to the steeper section now, and you can just see it is one massive riders, and the go has gone. Russ has gone for it on the steepest part of the hill. He's put it in. Look at the numbers go. That is absolutely sadism at its worst. Russ has decided, as they hit the steepest part of the section, and the riders are expecting, I think, it to stay together. Russ has gone for it over the top. He's put the go in here, and I think there has been an expectation that it would wait until at least the descent and a regroup, but it's not. And look at this. It has gone mad at the front. Everybody is in pieces all over the road at the moment, and it looks to me like it's caught a few people napping. They've got to be in the right place at the right time, and you've got to be rolling around where the yellow beacon is. That is the key to riding the chain gang. The group was together on the climb. It came into the climb together. It was on the steep section together, and that is now going to be in absolute bits everywhere. There is no way that is going to be holding together. It is absolutely smashed, and you can see on the map it is like dot to dot behind. That's not one line. The groups have gone now. This is all about finding a group and working together. We've got a long way to go, so it's time to get those groups sorted. The breakaways up the road, there are plenty of people behind. If they mass together, they are going to be in with a chance of chasing back. Let's have a look who's in these chasing groups. Kieran Brown, normally right up there. Adi Dent's right up there. Shelley Charles, Tom Lindley, Massoon at the moment. The big pack here. Goddard, looks like Donny Hughes in here. Finney's in here as well. Ambrose, looks like Tim Cooper in this group as well. Dick Samuel is in here. Nick Dorsey's in. And you can just see as we move our way back, they all know that they've got to get the hammer down and they've got to do it quickly. You cannot let the gaps grow. At this stage, you aren't going to be in trouble. You're not going to be in out the kill. But that was a mean move by the bear. Not sure who poked him, but they must have poked him with something very pointy and very, very much like Sonia Inslee's dogs probably left in Darren's office, because that is not the place you want to be having to respond on that steep section on the limit. And somebody says it's time to go. It's a bit light when the hammer is down and everybody knows that it's going to get hit. But look at this. This is a massive group forming behind here. There's going to be some real strength in numbers in this chasing group here. Are we going to see a change around? Because if these guys can work together, look at the strength in depth there. You've got lots of riders, some very, very fast, very hard riding riders. If that group in the front just hang around and try and wait for one of the favourites to do all the work to tire them out, it's going to reform. The gap is only a matter of a few seconds here. So it's 7 seconds on the clock at the moment. 7 seconds from this chasing group to the leading group. Can they pull that back? They're doing more watts per kilo at the moment. And look at that. That's the gap that's coming down. It's the work that's being done by this gang here. The time checks are coming in. It's coming down again. It's down at nearer 6 seconds now. 5 seconds, in fact, to the back of the group. This pack is chasing down now. It looks to me like the pressure being put on, it's splitting the group in front. The group in front doesn't want to be caught. It can't deal with the fact it's being picked up by the group behind them. Here, this second group, as the rain starts to fall, is closing. There's a massive group behind as it starts to get some serious thunder and lightning coming down. Look at the groups. They are all over the place. This is smashed to pieces. And you can just see at the moment, everybody is all over the place. Nobody has this nailed as they come in and through. We've got a long, long way to go. And this is now about where do you work? Where do you expend your energy? How hard are you going to go to try and stay clear? The chasers behind. How much effort can you put in? Russ's heart rate up at 151. It's not all that long when it was at 90s. Now at 151 here. And I just seen it is total carnage behind. He's like somebody has chucked a hand grenade in the middle of these riders, and there is just shrapnel scattered across the countryside in Watopia now as riders are distanced all the way round now. It looks like our red beacon is going to have some serious work to do. This bus could get pretty big at the back. It could be as back as the tour bus here, because that was a big old explosion in the group. It went absolutely nuts when Russ pulled the pin. And now I think we are going to see some real groups. We're working our way steadily up through these riders up towards the front of the ride here. And this group has reformed once again. Remember, it's split down to 3 riders here. We're just in with Kieran Brown here. Now we have one rider just up the road in the shape of Craig Genther. Daryl Tachilwala, and looks like Kieran Brown not letting him go too far. Tristan Emptage in this group as well. Now, who is going to do all of the work? Who's going to do the hard work in pulling riders back? Genther has gone early. He's got a nice gap here, 5 seconds. So Genther at the moment on the front here. The riders are behind. Now it's all about finding your group. Find your pack. Get yourselves into a group and ride together. That is the way that you will get a great result on this course, because there is so much roller coaster. It will not give an advantage to a massive pack unless it can work together. You've got to be useful together. If one person sits on the front and does all of the hard work, it is going to be really, really tough. And at the moment, as we come down into the tunnels, you can see our lone leader in the shape of Genther is going to come into the tunnel here. He's on his own, but he's being closed down. Here they come. The train's coming behind him. He's going to get swept up. He's going to have to jump off those tracks pretty quickly. He's going to get flattened as they come through. They are coming towards him really fast now, and he knows that his days are numbered on the front on his own. Into town they come. He's still got a gap. Remember, we've got a long, long way to go here. This is absolutely carnage. It's 7.1k per lap. We've still got a sense to do of that climb time and time again. Genther's gone hard. They are making everybody work here. So Genther being chased hard by the group behind at the moment. Everybody wants to be in there. Nobody wants to let that gap go. Can they bring him back? So Craig Genther opening up the throttles, trying to stay clear of everybody else. The gaps are absolutely mental at the minute. Russ in this chasing group. We are working our way back into that pack. You can just see this is the chasers. They're working hard to close the gap down. And that pin being pulled. Well, Genther has stayed clear here. Russ is in here. He's not doing all the work. And no one person at the moment wants to bring this back, I think. They are content to let Genther stay out there in the cold, getting a tough time out there. So onto the bridge they go. The clouds are down at the moment. You can just see thunder and lightning raining down on our riders that go over the bridge here. Everybody's in here. Mason's in here in the red and black. We might have ripped the mickey out of him for not being able to stay in on a hilly route. He's doing a great job so far. If it comes to a sprint, you cannot discount this man. He's got so much power. 80 Dench in here, Emptage in here, and they're closing once again. We're coming in towards the climb. You can just about make out that red flashing beacon of the roads in front. Kieran Brown in the green strip there on the front. Mason's in the black and red. Looks like they swept up Kesteven on the way through. Fiona with issues on the way out there, and that's Genther who's gone clear on the front. Now Mason starts to roll over towards the front as they're coming into the climb. This is where it's going to get tricky. Who's got the power to get up here? You're going to see some serious wattage coming out, I think, from our bigger riders on the way through. Let's jump in with Mason. Let's pull up his stats here. So we're in with Gareth Mason, the fat cyclist, 600 watts, 750 watts here. Mason is absolutely nailing this on his way up here. You can see he's pushing out nearly 800 watts on the start of the climb. He's a big unit, and by putting out the watts here, he's putting everybody under pressure. Look at it, it is so red back there. Everybody wants to be in. Nobody wants to get distance to this stage, and somebody with the skills of 80 Dench is being distance. Tristan Entage has gone. Craig Genther has gone out the back. He's absolutely blown his doors off. So you can see this group is well and truly stretched out. Russ now jumps on the front. That big attack there by Mason on the climb when no one was expecting it has pulled the gaps out. Remember, 6 meters is the tail of that slipstream. 4 riders clear. Mason in the red and black, downing with that beacon over his head. In that group, looks like Coleman is there in the blue, white and black. Tatchell Waller is chasing on the back here. Mason now taking advantage of that mass on a downhill. As he goes through behind them, there are riders all over the place. The gaps have opened and closed so quickly. Groups forming and breaking up, but this is the leading group now on its way down, and it is Mason who has the front of the descending group there. Kieran Smith is in the black with a flat cap on now. Kieran Smith is quick. Can he do this? Is he going to be able to be the man who's going to pull it apart? It is absolutely frantic here. The rain stops in Zwift. It disappears as fast as it came. This is our leading group. They're going to come through here. Remember, it's 7.1k per lap, and this is a brutal circuit, and with that very mean go on the climb. Absolutely nasty stuff, but this is the leading group. You can see the gaps, how fast they've opened up. 80 Dench is at 10 seconds on that leading group. Genther, 18 seconds to the lead group. He's got Tristan Empties right behind him. Looks like Ambrose and this next group on the road, chasing hard behind here. They're about 15 seconds behind Genther. And this is a big old pack who are in the chase. They are pursuing here. And can they get back in behind? Still more riders, so there's still strength in depth behind. It is by no means insurmountable for this group to pull the group in front back. So you can just see it's going to be a bit of a gap through. So through we go underneath the gantry. 36k down on the clock as we go underneath the gantry. 7k to go. One more circuit, once more round the lap here. Has anybody got anything left in the legs after all of the attacking so far? This is Group 1 on the roads. Kieran Brown in the green. In the front of the group in the black with the flat cap on, that is Kieran Smith. Gareth Mason in the red and black. Paul Whitelaw in the orange. You've got Dan Coleman in the blue light blue shoulders, the white midriff and black shorts, and of course you've got the one and only Fonzie Downing in there with the beacon over his head. Tagged in is Daryl Tatchell, the rider at the back on that Zwift concept bike with the orange wheels. This is absolutely mad, and at the moment everybody wants to be on the front. Nobody wants to let anybody go. It is frantic here, and it looks to me like Kieran Brown wants to keep that pace nice and high. He's up at 5.5 watts per kilo again, and these multiple attacks are really tearing people's legs apart here. Now Downing has pushed on. Downing goes on the front, trying to string it out, and the response comes from Brown. It is mad out there at the moment, and these guys are not leaving anything to chance. They are going early, and Brown and Downing is a great duo. If these two team time trial the way in, they could leave the rest for dead. The chase is being taken up here, and I think the riders behind are leaving this to Whitelaw. Can they sit on his wheels? He's put a kick in here. He's at 8.5 watts per kilo, trying to chase over 9 watts per kilo. This is a massive effort coming in here to close the gap, but is he just dragging everybody with him? Let's take a look behind him. The gap has opened now. Mason trying to come over the top to try and pull him back. It looks like the gap is going to be made, but look at the pace coming now out of Mason and Coleman. They're in pursuit of Whitelaw, who is pursuing our leaders at the moment. It is absolutely frantic on the front. Kieran Brown now leading this group out as Whitelaw goes over the top. He backs off the pace. Kieran Brown straight onto those wheels. Russ doing the same here. They're sitting on the ice cream seller. Is he being on the sprinkles, or is he going to be a bland vanilla finish here? Let's see who's got it in their legs. It looks to me like Mason really wants this. We've ripped the mickey out of him plenty of times about the hills, but he's not hanging around. He does live at the top of Box Hill. Let's face it, this man knows how to climb it. You don't live up there if you don't, and the gap has opened now. It's 5 seconds back. These are the chasers. So we have Brown, Whitelaw, Mason and Downing at the front. Coleman, Kieran Smith, Daryl Tatchell Waller are the three riders about to make the junction. They are closing in on the riders in front. They are going to make contact pretty quickly behind then. I think Genther is on his own. He's 18 seconds down on the lead. You've got Dench not far behind him. Tristan Emptage is in that group behind then. This is that big pack of chasers here working hard. Pritchard, Charles Emsley. Looks like Ambrose in there, Masood in the group, Vin Donahue is a bit further back with Rich Orrell. They're scattered all the way across the hillsides. If we jump back in with this front group, it looks to me like Mason has made contact here behind though. Coleman distance on that descent, so is Tatchell Waller now. Can this group of three get themselves back up to the group in front? And that will be a first Mason being distanced on the downhill, but you just see Mason putting in a very fast time through there. Not the fastest time of the day though, and that was done earlier on when the group was working together. These two riders closing in on our leaders. So here they go on to the back of the group in front here. So it is going to be Mason and Downing closing in on the guys. This is absolutely mad at the front. Looks like Keith Richards' party bus at the back is in full swing. They're having a proper party at the back of the front. It's madness. 4 riders back together again. Coleman, Smith and Tatchell Waller not making the junction, and now 14 seconds down on these. These are our leaders. So 4 riders together, chasers behind, working hard. Can they close the gap down? That gap has opened right out on that climb. It's now 14 seconds from our leaders to the group behind. 48 seconds to Dench. Emptich and Emsley. It's all over the place. It's going to come down to these 4 riders now, but they can't relax. They cannot take it for granted. And that's really simple because the groups behind are closing up together, and that means that we've got a big group at 43 seconds, an even bigger group at 56 seconds, and that gap will get eaten into very quickly. Now Kieran Brown on the front, stretching it out. Russ Downing just being distanced a little here as they push in, and it looks like it's an attack from Whitelaw here again, being closed down by Kieran Brown. So taking a look back here, you can just see the gaps have opened. Who's got anything left in the lace? Kieran Brown tagged on the back here. We're on the run across here from the Italian villas. We've got a bridge to get across. We've got ourselves get us over that bridge and on to the climb. So in the orange, Paul Whitelaw leading this out. In the green, Kieran Brown chasing behind in the red and black. That's Gareth Mason, the fat cyclist. Then behind you see that yellow pillar of light. That's Russ Downing, Fonzie Bear himself, the man who instigated the absolute explosion in the bunch as they came up on to the steep section. It looks to me like Whitelaw just dropping off the numbers here, just letting it ease back, and it's allowed Mason to come back in. Remember, Mason ripped this to pieces on the climb last time. Has he saved anything? Has he got anything left? Downing is out of it. He's at 8 seconds here, and it looks like the bear is being caged today. He's out of the fight. He has gone, and it is now down to these 3 riders. We're riding in with Mason. Who's going to be the first to kick on this climb? It's going to be one of these riders. Surely they're going to go. They're not going to leave it to the sprint. We're coming in towards the big part of the climb here, and it's Brown who's gone early here. So Kieran Brown up at the 8 watts per kilo mark. They're having to respond to this. You can see the numbers climbing behind steadily. They can't leave it too steady because Brown is a class act. On the mountain bike, on the road bike, Whitelaw's trying to come at him. Can anybody get there? It's Brown who's gone, and he's at 10 watts a kilo. The gaps are opening. He's got 2 seconds on Whitelaw, 3 on Mason, 16 on Downing. How fast can he open this gap up? He's got over the top, and is it going to be Brown who's going to get this? It's a big attack now. It's going to ease any second here, and as we see Brown coming in to the top of this, he's got to keep the pressure on. He's at 8 watts per kilo nearly. He eases a little over the top. Behind it's Whitelaw and Mason, who are the riders nearest to them. But the gaps are there behind, and no one, I think, is in touch with this man from Sherwood Pine Cycles. It's Kieran Brown leading it out. He's got the gap. He's opened what is going to be a huge distance back. Don't believe the time splits until all of the riders are on that same section, of course. But this is the man at the moment doing the business. It's Kieran Brown from Sherwood Pine Cycles. He's got the gap, it's opened up, and he's keeping the pressure on. He's watching the watts of kilos of the riders behind. Now it's Whitelaw at the moment in second place chasing, but he's not going to get him back unless he puts a humongous effort in. Behind him then it's Mason. Now Mason just doing a little bit of recovery. They know they've a little bit of flat section when they hit the bridge. Question is that where you're going to use your power? Are you going to leave it till that last kick in? At the moment, so it looks to me like this man, Kieran Brown, has done the business. He's got it clear. He's opened 11 seconds on Whitelaw, 22 on Mason. He's over a minute up on Russ Downing here. This man doing the business. It's in his legs, and he's certainly showing that he is a clean pair of heels. He's showing to everyone else now. As he pushes on, you can just see the beacon behind, a long way back in the distance. We're looking to see where Whitelaw is. He was at 12 seconds. Is he even in sight? No. The man from Ice Cream, he's had that ice cream upended and shoved in his face by this man. I'm not sure what Kieran Brown's on, but I want some of it because this is amazing. It's absolute raw talent here. Can they pull him back? Whitelaw is the closest rider. Then it is going to be a Mason, but nobody is going to touch this man. It is going to be Kieran Brown who takes it as he goes through the line. You can see straight off the power there. Behind it's going to be Paul Whitelaw who comes through in second place. Then it's going to be Mason coming through third place for Mason. Behind it looks like Craig Genther is rolling Russ here. They're in for the sprint here. Who's going to get this? Look at the numbers coming out here. Downing and Genther are together now. Downing responds to this. Is he going to get it? Come on, boys, this is to the line. Downey's kicking. He's absolutely mad. Look at the power coming out of Downing. He wants this so much. So Downing takes 4th place. Gether takes 5th. Tattershaw Waller takes 6th place. It's going to be Coleman who's going to come through for 7th. And what a finish as they come in. This course is entertaining all the way into the finish. And what a result there for Kieran Brown as he came in. He ripped it to pieces. He used those attacks. He rode with the leaders and he rode smart into the finish. Kieran Smith comes through ahead of Tristan and AD Dench, and I think Tristan's in danger of getting rolled here by Dench. Dench rolls him on the line. And then it's going to be Masoon, followed by Pritchard. Cooper's going to show that he's got that sprint still. Cooper comes through ahead of Ambrose and Emsley. Shelley Charles in the chasing group behind. Chris Darby comes through, looks like Greenaway and Richardson comes through. Tom Lindley chasing hard behind here. So Lindley at the moment with the gap on Run It here. Absolute madness today. It is so fast around that circuit when it gets ripped up, but the plunger was pushed early there by the bear, by our yellow beacon Russ Downing. That is a tough circuit. Lindley responding, and it looks like he's got the beating here of Donahue. Donahue on a great ride, but can he hold off the riders behind him? Here comes the gantry. He's out the saddle. He's going to keep them at bay. So it's Donahue followed by Orrell and Run It behind. Saysal's going to come in. Saysal, who's having a hard time early on. He's got, this is what, you know what, is absolutely flying today, being chased here by Richard Samoa. Dick Samoa doing a great job here coming through the line. Going to be chased to the line by Wimble. Wimble's got to watch out. Dorsey and Co. Well, I think he's got the gap on them. And I'm sure Rob is going to be having a great ride. He's got some real life rides planned as well as some races out there in the real world now. Who is going to take this on? Who's got the power? I think it's a tight one there. We'll let the guys work that out on the replay between them. Pearson cruises in after the group have sprinted it out now. Garfoot and Finney, these two we know will fight it out. They're on next two riders headed in to the line at the moment. It's Garfoot in the lead at the moment. He's got the gap on Finney of about 1 to 2 bike wheels. Can he stretch it? He can't go past Garfoot. Finney's to go through the line. Senior's going to come through next. Now we're going to drop back to Dobson, and Fiona Kesterman in theory has 1 lap left to go. We will see now. Up comes Dobson. He's going to be our next rider in. He's about 22 seconds clear of Maddie Smith. Here comes Smith now. So Smith, the next rider in to the line, if she can stay clear. She's got Sean Ferrer behind her. We know Ferrer's got a massive monster sprint on him, but Maddie, the Terminator, is not going to give it up easily. She's pushing up to the line here. Look at that, 8 watts per kilo almost from Maddie Smith as she goes through in front of Sean Ferran there. Now it's going to be Stevens who's going to get that next position. Stevens rolls through just ahead of Donald Johnson Wheelers now. Chris Ball comes through. He's got a slight gap on Sutcliffe. Can Sutcliffe hold off Carl Johnson and Bobby Mason? I think he can. That's a big pack behind her, about 54 seconds out. Let's see if we can get across to Russ. He may have got his breath back. Russ, how are you doing?
I was just waiting for you to talk because I didn't really have the breath.
I'm not sure that I've got all that much left, mate, to be honest, and I wasn't riding. Absolutely mad stuff tonight, and we might have said that was a very mean go, but you know what, it really did work in terms of stretching out this group. And I think plenty of racing still left in this little lot here. I mean, we've got another gang going in here. Carl Johnson, Owen Davis, Koo Suggs is in here. And they're all pushing on. Ridley's in this group, and they are working hard here. I mean, Carl Johnson, he's got to be the hot favourite once he sees the gantry. Has he got the sprint on him to close down on the guys in front? It's really tight here. Look at Carl go. This is some sprint, isn't it, Russ?
Honestly, mate, I can't see the screen. All I can just hear is voices and loud bang.
I'm not surprised. There is absolutely some serious what's going down in there. And just seeing our red beacon come in and through the line there. Absolutely tough day at the office for everybody, I think. And did you somewhere along the lines enjoy that?
No, I think, like I said, either too much coffee or it was too hard because I don't know what my heart rate was, but I could actually feel it pounding out of my chest as we crossed the finish line. And I'm not been that hard for a while, so it was all good fun.
Definitely, and what a ride by Kieran Brown. I mean, he attacked and attacked on that last section, and he kept on pushing as he tried to close down. I mean, that was really, really tough stuff.
Yeah, I think that was the thing with me. I did one attack too far right from the start, And, oh, but, it's great fun. I'm just about to make it to the blue banner now, and then I'm just going to have a lay down with the grasshopper in the grass, I think.
I love it. Fantastic stuff. Well, great to see everybody in action. Don't forget, if you're a member of DCG Gang, we will have an email coming out your way. It should be tomorrow for all the systems back up and working. Don't throw the laptop out the window in disgust. Russ has got a busy weekend. Any major plans over the weekend other than watching the guys in the tour?
I think I might need a few days recovery, actually, after that.
I'm not surprised. Well, listen, mate, you go get your feet up and get some OT recovery down your neck, because I think you're going to need it. We've got some fantastic weeks coming up on the Donny Chaingang. Cheers, Russ.
I'm looking forward to getting my laptop open tomorrow and creating the links.
It's going to be fun.
I have a beer at like 11 o'clock or something.
Oh, don't tempt me. Cheers, mate. See you soon. So great to catch up with Russ there as he continues on now. We aren't just sitting in with the gang at the moment as they make their way around. We do have, I reckon, at least one rider out with a bit more to do. And that is going to be Fiona Kesterman. Now, we were keeping an eye on Fiona earlier on. She was out the front of the gang, but now on her way around. Now, Fiona just going to drop down in towards the sprint line. So we'll keep our eyes on Fiona. I think she's going to be heading around to do her last lap here. Issues out, on the ride. It's going to make life a little bit difficult for Fiona on her way around, but looking good at the moment as she goes in towards the sprint here. So in onto the bridge for the sprint for Fiona. So Fiona Kesterman on her last lap, heading down in towards the tunnels, in towards the villas. Not going to be long before she's in and through those, heading over towards the bridge and the final climb of the course here on the Donny Chaingang. A brutal course for a Tuesday. A brutal course for a Thursday. Doesn't matter what day we put this on, it's always hard, it's always mad, and it's always going to hurt, and it was definitely the case today. Some brilliant attacking. Gareth Mason on some awesome form with some huge numbers going out on that climb to get himself over the top. So as Kesterman comes through the Italian villas, time for me to remind you we've got lots more to come on the Donny Chaingang live here on the Downhill Cycling YouTube channel with me, Matt Payne. Make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel. So Fiona Kesterman comes over the top, away from the waterfall, up towards the turning for the tunnels. It's going to be a left turn up over the bridge onto the climb for Fiona. So let's take the opportunity to remind you of a few things. One, make sure you subscribe to the Downhill Cycling YouTube channel. We are going to be bringing you the Donny Chaingang all the way into the new year. We've got lots of great action. We've got lots of great courses coming up. I'm not sure quite how we top this, but we're not going to stop trying, that's for sure. Don't forget to join the DCG gang. You can get the links on the Facebook page. If you've not joined that, make sure you do so. That's where the support and the chat is. That's where everybody is looking after each other, and we've seen some really great examples of the chain gang working together on there. Don't forget, of course, that if you have joined that and you're in the DCG gang and in the supporters club, the Donny Chaingang supporters club, the DCG gang, you will get all of the links first. You get the details of the course, the profiles and so on. We get that out to you. Now this week we've had a little bit of a blip on that part because of the sheer workload, because we've got a lot going into the next 3 weeks. Also because we've had a few issues backstage with some of the tech. Also, of course, because real life gigs are starting up, and of course add into that the fact that some of our riders have thrown themselves onto the floor, or should we say have had a racing crash, just to keep us on our toes. So it does mean that those emails are a little bit sparse. The members still getting those links first, and it is a way to get the details before anybody else. Now a lot of the courses settled. The members of the DCG gang in June already know where those stages are, how long they're going to be, and what they're going to be. The exact details of stage 1 will be coming out to members of the DCG gang for June and for 2021 before the weekend, hopefully tomorrow or early Saturday. That's the plan, touch wood. However, once we've done that, and once that first stage is over and done with, and it is going to need some careful thinking about how you approach the first stage, then the rest of the links will come out to members of the July members of the Donny Chaingang Supporters Club and the All 2021 members. So if you're a member, remember, get your membership in. Make sure that you get yourselves the July one if you're a member in June. If you're not a member yet and you want to get both and do the June and July, don't forget, of course, you can always go on to the 2021 one, and we have a June right the way through to December if you want to do it in one mass block and save having to do it month on month. All the money helps us, Russ and myself, Matt Payne, in bringing the Donny Chaingang. We've got lots of great prizes coming out. We've got spot prizes coming out for those of you not riding the entire tour who are members of the DCG gang. We do have, of course, special prizes. Every member who goes across and finishes every stage of the DCG Tour de France, which is the 6 stages over 3 weeks, then we will be getting prizes out to you. We've got some great prizes in there already, including some coffee from Grand Tour Coffee Company, and of course we've got lots of great goodies from Downside and from the Donny Chaingang. Russ and I making sure that we've got something for everybody who finishes all 6 stages as part of the DCG gang. Puts those pictures up onto Facebook. That's how you're going to prove you finished the stage, and we'll be launching those links. Make sure you put them up at the end of each stage, and then we're going to want one post at the end of all of the tour with all of your pictures on, and that way we're going to be able to check that everybody's done what they said they've done and finished the stages they have. Now it does mean that it's going to be a mad few weeks, so make sure you hang on to your hats. Make sure you get watching the tour. Regular chain gang riders in the shape of Connor Swift and Fred Wright are going to be at the tour. I mean, we've got lots of riders there, and it's great to see so many pros there from the UK. But we have, of course, got the Chaingang riders in there. If you've got a fantasy team, there are a few of them on the Facebook page already, and a few fantasy leagues already going for the tour. Don't forget, put them in. Fred Wright and Connor Swift. Why would you not put them in? Donny Chaingang regulars and supporters, both members of the DCG gang, the Donny Chaingang Supporters Club. Now, Fiona Kesterman on the descent. Good to have Fiona back with us. We're going to dive back in with Fiona a little bit just as she comes into the finish. In the meantime, don't forget, of course, support the people who support your sport. The guys at the bottom of your screen, right down there. Halo Wheels, OTE, Fellow Skin, 1080 and all of the Oakley products. Don't forget, of course, guys from Fellow Viewer and Grand Tour Coffee and Gritty. They are our key supporters all the way through the season. They've given discounts all the way through. Big support from people like Nonnas in Sheffield. Looking forward to being back at Nonnas very shortly indeed. Don't forget, we've got lots more offers coming up, and we've got lots of great giveaways. None of this possible without the guys at Zwift. Zwift are key to making this happen. It's a fantastic platform that we bring you, the Donny Chaingang, in the virtual world, something Russ has wanted to do for a long time. Team up with myself, Matt Payne, and we are bringing you the Chaingang all the way through. We've done it since pretty much lockdown number 1, and we continue to do so. We're really loving the fact that people are supporting each other in the gang, and that's the whole point of the Chain Gang. looking after each other, making sure everybody's okay, and ensuring that everybody heads out with a smile on the face, hopefully at the end, albeit a tired one, particularly when Russ is mean and hits the plunger on the steep bit of the course. So we're going to watch Fiona in to the line. I'm going to do some quick goodbyes once we've done that. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, guys. It's how we know you're going to be watching, get notified when we go live every time. So jumping in live with Fiona as she gets down into the course here, heading down around the buildings. You just see the hills in the background. It's going to be Fiona, our next finisher, live here on the Downing Cycling YouTube channel. And as Kesteven comes in towards the line, we're going to get our drone up close and personal here, because she's pushing in to the finish here. And good to see Fiona, irrespective of the fact that she had issues early on, finishing the course and going to be heading in to the gantry here. So it's Fiona Kesteven who comes across the line. Just the warm down for Fiona to do. Great riding by Fiona there. So good to have everybody on the Chaingang. Fiona's going to warm down. I am going to get ready and I'm going to head out and cool down. I've got some more ice cream on the side as well as some OTE recovery. So from Russ, from everyone on the Chaingang, from me, Matt Payne, stay safe, and we'll see you for the next Chaingang, which will be a Tour de France special. First stage coming up on Tuesday.